Okay, let's move on to powerlifting.
Powerlifting.
Okay, what you guys think about powerlifting and so on and so forth? Go ahead.
All right.
Or somebody, go ahead.
You want me to start first?
Yeah.
Okay. I think powerlifting, the big thing about powerlifting is that you have the squat, you got the bench, you got the deadlift. Those are like the three main lifts for powerlifting, right? The goal of powerlifting is usually to build as much strength as possible. You want to usually in a competition, you want to gain as many kilograms probably for your squat, bench, and deadlift. And in comparison, not the same as functional training for squat, bench, and deadlift. It's like you put your body in so much stress if you're doing squat, bench, and deadlift, and you just have to make sure that you are committed enough to be doing the powerlifting training, and you need to be thinking yourself as an athlete, because if you're not sleeping well, if you're not like eating right, if maybe the previous day you were a bit more stressed, right, it's gonna impact on that training day, because you put your body in so much stress, like neuromuscularly also, you get tired. Like not just the muscle, but your nervous system. So you need to make sure that you have a good coach that understands the program, that understands how the body works, that understands how it takes your body to adapt to the stress and how it needs to recover. So powerlifting, if you are wanting to do it, just make sure you are committed in doing it, and that you have a goal, like a competition, so that you guys can train, like with periodically you can train. What's your goal for the next 3 months, what's your goal for the next 6 months or a year. So I think that's what you guys have to put in mind, I guess. Do you really want to do this or not? Powerlifting, because it's not your regular like, oh, okay, I'm just gonna go to the gym and I'm gonna do powerlifting. It's not like that. It's not like you said, bodybuilding. Bodybuilding, well, you can go to the gym, you can hit your push pull legs. You got rest in between those muscles. Just make sure you guys have proper knowledge and programming for powerlifting.
Yeah,
that's my take.
Can someone then switch from let's say, functional training, and all of a sudden, okay, I want to switch to a powerlifting? Would they be able to switch straight away, or what do you think? Like, would they be able to switch straight away? And then when you say committed, what does that look like? Is it like a 3 months, 6 months, a year? Like how does that look like? If someone wanted to, oh, you know what, I want to try powerlifting. Like how big of a change or a turn would that be?
I guess from my side, right, I haven't been on a powerlifting powerlifting program. But when I see how people go through it, as in from functional training, you do it mostly like day to day. But if you do powerlifting, what I mean by committed is that you kind of have to know what the sport is about. Like if you are training for a sport, you want to be competing in it, right? So you just want to make sure you have like a competition day. So then you are committed to that date, and then you are actually committed in the progress of getting ready for that competition. Because otherwise, if you're just doing, I think for me, if you're just doing squat, bench, deadlift, but with no date
Proper.
in mind, it's like, what am I doing actually? So you just have to make sure you set a timeline for that program, and making sure that you're following the program and you know what you're gonna put your body into in a powerlifting program.
So in a way, we could say it's not for everybody. Is it? Powerlifting is not for everybody. It's for the ones that actually could commit to the program.
From my take, I feel like if you are a very busy person and you want to go into a powerlifting program, it takes a lot out of you.
I see.
Yeah. To max out, finding your doing heavy 3s, heavy 5s, and then doing them on repeat weekly. I think it's a little too much for the average person to handle. I mean, if they are willing to do it, then go for it. But who is it not for is basically those who have injuries, right? Those who are injured and they want to try powerlifting as their first form, like to dabble into fitness. I don't think it's the right move. Probably like what Coach Elber said, segmented training, and then once you're good at your biceps are not flaring up or your lower back's not flaring up, you're healthy, you can move on to like functional training, or you stay in bodybuilding is okay. But then going on to powerlifting is just be committed on your decision on doing that. Yeah.
Okay. Cool.
Yeah, that's my take. Any like comments from you guys or any things you guys maybe you guys want to try powerlifting?
I've
I know
always
you-
wanted.
yeah,
I always
you
wanted
always
to
wanted.
try one, but then I'm committed. Like, do I have the time? Now I'm like starting to think. Like, it's not a simple matter as I thought before.
Yeah.
Which I think some of the other people would actually be thinking the same way. I was like, oh, I'm just gonna try powerlifting this time. Like even me as a coach, I am still kind of like learning all these things where. Oh, okay. Powerlifting, you got to be committed. I have a lot of friends that actually did it before. Like they go competitions. I know you need to have a target goal in mind where, okay, I have competition in about 12 months time. Then they start training. The first 3 months is like what? And then the next 3 months and the next 3 months. And then they have, it's just a whole different programming. And I thought it would be as simple as that. But then now, thanks to you, and then I know like, okay, committed. Have to do this, have to rest properly, eat properly, all of that kind of like play a part into it. And then whether do I have the time to commit to it, the programming will need to be different. And it's quite complicated actually.
I guess it depends on the person's goal, right? Like if your goal right now is to, get as strong as possible, you are able to do it, but maybe you don't have to go into the powerlifting style, right?
Yeah.
I think the right program is the program for you.
Yeah.
Yeah. You don't have to follow like this program to be getting this result.
Yeah.
So any program that's good, I think it's tailored for that particular person, for that particular
It's the ones
goal.
that customized to the person.
Yeah.
Okay. Cool. Did you want to say something?
No. Jadi maksudnya kalau misalnya aku nih sebagai orang kantoran nih, powerlifting tadi seperti Coach Kevin bilang harus punya komit kan. Dari aku sendiri misalnya aku pengen banget powerlifting, gimana caraku untuk memanage waktu sementara aku misalnya pulang kantor itu bisanya malam aja. Latihannya malam aja gitu. Bisa nggak kalau increase weightnya gitu? Caranya gimana ya?
Menurutku sih depending recovery-nya gimana ya. Bisa aja, tapi kalau misalnya stresnya kebanyakan, terus kurang tidur, kurang makan, bisa mencoba powerlifting, squat, bench, deadlift. Tapi progresnya itu gimana sebenarnya? With the amount of work they do, right? With the amount of lack of nutrition they do, or bisa nggak handle extra stress? Kan udah work, terus mau lift lagi malam, itu bisa nggak? It comes down to that question. What do you think, Coach Albert?
About
Misalnya orang kantoran
gitu.
Oh,
Office
long
people.
one. Well, here's the thing, right? Let me just go back to what's powerlifting is, right? Obviously, it's powerlifting. First off, it's a sport, right? And then it's a sport that they will base you on the heaviest amount you lift from squat, bench, and deadlift, right? The accumulated of that, then they'll pick the winner for in the powerlifting competition. Now, here's the thing. Am I a track athlete just because I jog? Right? Am I a sprinter just because I run from time to time on the street? Are you a power lifter just because you do bench in freaking class or in the gym? Are you a power lifter just because you did squat in your training? Right? So what makes you a power lifter for me, what I think is when somebody with a specific goal in mind to try to lift the most in squat, bench, and deadlift in a competition. Okay, now you could try do a powerlifting program to increase your strength, right? But that is, would you be called a powerlifter? I don't think so. I think once you follow or you do a powerlifting competition, or you are trying to compete in a way, then sure. But if your powerlifting program, then your focus is to increase those three: squat, bench, and deadlift, right? Now here's the thing. If that's what you're aiming for, to maximize anything, you need to put a lot of time, effort, money, and so on, right? If I want to maximize my squat, I'm really gonna revolve my training, my lifestyle, that will be conducive for me to increase those 3 lift, right? Meaning what? Meaning now you have to look whether your lifestyle will be able to support your goal of having the max or the most bench, deadlift, and squat, right? So, am I getting enough recovery? Am I eating enough food, right? Or am I following a specific training that will not be disrupted by my work schedule, right? Now, here's the thing, what's priority, right? So, can you follow a powerlifting program? Sure, you can follow a powerlifting program, right? I think that all dependent on what's gonna make you happy or what's gonna make getting the result, right? So for instance, I have a client who are stuck on their squat, you know. Does this client specifically want to compete or want to train to be a powerlifter? No, not really. She just wants to have her squat higher, and she wants to have a pull-up. She have other performance kind of goal. So for the squat, I'm gonna introduce her some powerlifting program, whether it's 5x5, 5-3-1, whatever the case may be, you know, to what I see that will be good for her. But does that make her a powerlifter? No, she's not, right? So I think we gotta look at a program based on how we're gonna prescribe to a client or how we're gonna prescribe it to myself, right? Maybe I want my bench to be higher, right? Then I'll look at some powerlifting program, or we're known by powerlifter, and I'll start doing that program. Boom, I get to that bench. Does that equate to the same kind of result I will get with functional training? Not really. Well, first of all, squat and deadlift and arguably bench is a functional movement of its own, but depend on the goal, right? If somebody wants to, people can have 5 goals. What is that first one? Priority, right? I could be, I want to be 12% body fat or 11% body fat, but I also want to have a 3 times body weight squat. Now that goal is somewhat contradicting there. You get what I mean? Because the easiest way to get to the 3 times body weight squat is not to worry about your body fat percentage, right? And then if you want to get a certain amount of body fat percentage, you shouldn't be worrying so much about your squat, how much you're going to squat, right? So you have to see from the client perspective, what do you exactly want? If you just want to get maybe 2 times body weight squat, well, we could do that while try to get 10 or 12% body fat without having it disrupt each other. It all depends what you're trying to do, okay? I'm not saying you can't or you should not. It goes back to mentality as well. Some people are just happy to lift heavy things, even though, it doesn't get them lower body fat percentage. Again, it's not about that, right? If that makes you come to the gym, then just do that. The only issue I have with this is that when people try and make it as if that's the next level of evolution in fitness, from functional training you should be doing powerlifting, Olympic, no such thing. I hate it when people try to put it like that. Or from this kind of training, body weight, to this, then you do this, then you do CrossFit, then you do after CrossFit. It's bullshit. It's what makes you happy, what gets you still active, what gets you. I could follow Olympic weightlifting program just because I feel like it. All right? Does that make me an Olympic weightlifter? No. But I just follow the program. The goal being what? Not having the heaviest snatch or heaviest clean and jerk. The goal is for me to just move and get under the bar again. If it gets to PR, great. If it doesn't, it is what it is. So it depends. What do you like to do? What do you want to do? What gets you keep on moving? And I think that's what we're trying to say here. Whatever it is, as long as you like it, as long as it is what you want to do. Okay. Let's circle back to what's the reason we're talking about this. I think most of our audience want to know whether that training will result to either fat loss or increased strength, increased muscle mass, right? Because in the fitness space, a lot of people, that's what they're aiming for. Will this training give me fat loss or the body that I want? Okay. Now, for powerlifting wise, again, the goal is not for body composition for powerlifting. They focus more on lifting the heaviest. And one of the fastest way to lift the heaviest, if you take the training away, is to get bigger. If you get bigger, you're gonna lift heavier. All right. So if your focus is strictly just to, I'm not saying you're not gonna get a good body out of it, but just know what you're aiming for.
Yeah.
Okay, and know the result, right? Your body been put a lot on heavy weight, automatically it wants to adapt by stabilizing your body to be able to handle that weight. It also gonna tell, okay, maybe I need to have wider core, I need to have wider whatever, right? So think about that, okay? So will I recommend it? If you like it, do it. But is this the fastest way for you to get to a certain point? Maybe not. But again, if the option is for you not do anything else, just do that then, okay? Hopefully that answered it. I don't know. I kind of ramble around everywhere with my answers sometimes. Just have to cut it. Oh, that sounds good. Put it on Instagram for 30 seconds. Cut it. Put it on Instagram. Okay. Anything else about powerlifting? Are we going to go into that? Anything else?
I think I'm good.
Okay then.